tonight is a super simple pasta carbonara recipe made in the Instant Pot. And I'm actually going to make this just for me, so a one-person meal, but it's scalable, super, super easy. Pasta carbonara, authentic pasta carbonara, only has 5 ingredients. Bacon, raw egg, Parmesan cheese, spaghetti, black pepper. Very, very simple. Now, because I'm making it in the Instant Pot, I also use chicken broth, but I'll talk about that in a second. I'm going to start out by taking this bacon, cutting it up in little chunks, cooking it on saute mode in the Instant Pot because it's a nice deep pan, so you don't get all the grease splashing out. It's pretty awesome. And I'll be right back once I get that cooking. So the bacon's cooking. All I did was take 2 pieces of bacon, cut them up in small chunks, and I'm sauteing them. I got it on saute mode in the Instant Pot. Like I said, the grease stays in nice. Oh, this is super easy. I'm making this for one person, me, so I used 2 pieces of bacon. If I was going to make it for 2 people, I'd use 4 pieces of bacon. 3 people would be 6 pieces of bacon, and so on and so on. You get the idea. Now this isn't a super tight recipe, so if you want more bacon, throw more bacon in. Once the bacon is cooked nice and crispy, I'm going to put it in this little bowl with all the grease. I'm going to use the grease later. I don't want to let any of that go. While I'm waiting for this to finish cooking, I'm going to take this egg, raw egg, and a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Again, for one person. For 2 people, 2 eggs. 3 people, 3 eggs. For 2 people, 1/2 cup. For 3 people, 3/4. For 4 people, a whole cup. Again, super scalable. So that's kind of what's going on. I'm going to do that while I'm waiting for this, and I'll bring you back to this in a minute. There we have it, bacon and the bacon grease in a little bowl. I took the egg, 1 egg, and combined it with a 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese. That's actually going to be your sauce. I'll explain more about how that works in a second. But next is the pasta. Now, when it comes to cooking pasta, in the Instant Pot, what's really cool, and I'm amazed at the number of people who don't know this, you don't have to drain the liquid afterward. There's a little formula that you can use so that you have exactly the right amount of liquid to cook the pasta. The leftover liquid absorbs into the pasta. Now, in a lot of pasta dishes, you would let that absorb. But in carbonara, you actually want to use some of the pasta water in the sauce. So this actually works out really, really nicely. But, and here's where I diverge from traditional. Don't yell at me if you're traditionalist. Is that I like cooking pasta in, because I'm using the liquid, chicken broth. Part of the reason is when I ask people, how salty do you salt water for pasta? I had a couple of friends who were Italian cooks, and they would say, as salty as the sea. Well, as I don't drink seawater, I don't know how salty that is. The chicken broth adds a nice layer of flavor, and it's exactly the saltiness I want. Now I'm going to pour that in first and use it to deglaze the pan, right? Because all that stuff that's stuck to the bottom, that's flavor. So I'm going to deglaze that. I'll come back just a second when I'm ready to layer the pasta in. So now I'm ready to layer my pasta in. And again, cooking for one, I used 4 ounces of pasta. If I was going to, I'm going to crisscross these in here. If I was going to make it for 2 people, it'd be 8 ounces of pasta, and so on and so on. I'm going to kind of press that in, make sure the liquid gets on there pretty well. Now, the formula for pasta is really simple. For every 4 ounces of pasta, 1 cup of liquid. And you should have just the amount that you need. Once you have it in there, you take whatever the amount of time is on the box, cut it in half. So if it says 10 minutes to cook the pasta, you cut it in half to 5, subtract 2, so 3 minutes. This one actually calls for a little bit longer cook time, so I'm going to cook it on pressure cooker for 4 minutes. Like I said, all the liquid will absorb except for a little bit of it. When this is done, we'll be ready to finish the carbonara. Super, super easy. Almost done cooking. So here's what's going to happen. When that reaches 0, I'm going to take the pressure off it. While it's and then, once the pressure is gone, super simple. I'm going to take the bacon, I'm going to dump it in, stir it in real good. Break up any pasta that might be a little stuck together. It'll break up pretty easy. Oh, here we go. Let me release the pressure. Then I'm going to pour in the egg and Parmesan cheese mixture while the spaghetti is still hot. I'm going to turn off the Instant Pot so it's no longer on the heat. And what happens is the heat of the spaghetti emulsifies the egg, and melts the Parmesan cheese at the same time, turning it into a lovely silky sauce. And of course the bacon and the bacon grease just make it taste good. So the whole thing, that's it. That's all you do. Just stir it in as quick as you can. You don't want to leave it on the heat because you don't want to cook the eggs. You don't want scrambled eggs in your sauce. You want the heat of the pasta to emulsify the eggs and to melt the cheese. And really, that's pretty simple. Some people I've actually heard say, I don't like pasta carbonara because when I saw it, it had peas in it. Peas don't go in carbonara. Just because Gordon Ramsay says they do, he can be wrong sometimes. Authentic carbonara does not use peas. It's just a very simple, what I'm going to do is once I stir it all together and it turns into sauce, then I'm going to sprinkle a little black pepper on the top and eat it. The other thing is, if you want to impress somebody, people think that pasta carbonara is a hard recipe because, well, Olive Garden charges almost twice as much for that as any other dish, but it's really simple to make, so you can impress your friends with an elegant dinner. I'll come back and show you the finished product in a second. Oh, sorry, I probably should show you. There's the pasta still steaming in the bottom of the pot. In goes the bacon with the bacon grease. Yum. I'm going to stir that in real well. Now, I'm not going to add the egg and the cheese mixture while you're watching because I'm going to do this pretty quick. But like I said, I'll show you the finished product in a second. Well, there it is. As I described, you can see that the egg has emulsified, the cheese has melted. It's turned it into this nice, smooth, creamy sauce. Absolutely delicious. You can see the chunks of bacon in there. I'm going to put this on a plate so you can see what it looks like once it's plated up. There it is, the finished product. A little black pepper on the top, bacon chunks in there, a little bit of nice sauce here on the edge. You can see, so good. Highly recommend this. It's an easy meal for one person to make for themselves or to make for friends if they're having friends over. Enjoy.